Hey, Mudflap's back with another video. This time I'm going to talk about the current difficulty of ToGC. How hard was it on the PTR? What are we all in for? Well, 10-man, normal, and heroic are very accessible and will be direct downgrades in difficulty compared to 10-man Ulduar hard modes, and that's fine. And 25-man normal ToGC is very accessible as well. I see the majority of guilds getting it on farm relatively quickly. As for heroic 25-man, it's important to see the difficulty in the context of never wiping, as any guild that is attempting a heroic will be shooting for getting the cloaks from the final boss, meaning never wiping. The difficulty for the first 4 bosses feels appropriate and manageable with good play. Northrend Beast's difficulty is mostly from the coordination required during Worms, Acid Maw, Dreadscale. This will be the biggest learning curve for most players for that fight. Jiraxxus has very manageable mechanics and is probably the easiest of the heroic bosses. Faction Champs requires players to get outside of their comfort zone, work on prioritizing CCs and various PvP-esque mechanics rather than the typical dodge X and burn Y. This one will be a challenge to coordinate, but manageable with practice. For deathless runs, there will be some drama. There's a lot of randomness, and you cannot control every aspect of the fight without a comp that is tailored specifically for that fight. Normal raid comps will have to deal with a lot of randomness and inescapable deaths that can occur. Twin Valks is a fun and manageable fight that will just require a bit of practice before it becomes routine. As for a noob, this is a massive question mark. There were certain bugs, mechanics working differently than how it worked in the past, and it skyrocketed the difficulty, especially in comparison to the rest of the raid. If the block value set goes back to being the strat as before, the difficulty will come down drastically. And even though there's info floating that may be intended, I'm unsure that it is. So, that being said, how does this difficulty fit for the content, the phase, the player base? Well, from a longevity perspective, the raid will need to be easier if the devs want to keep people playing through the phase into ICC. I know there are rumblings from people that wish it to be more difficult, but this would be disaster for multiple reasons. The first being, well, you have to pick your battles when you create mountains to overcome. What do I mean? Well, Ulduar and ICC are raids that are so epic and engaging and lore-heavy that players are willing to go through bigger difficulties to reach the accomplishments. Small, 5-boss, trashless raids that no one cared about or liked to begin with are a terrible place to test how challenging you can make things, and I guarantee people will not stay subbed to the game to work on it in its current state. People will want to get in and get out quickly, and that is the raid's main draw. How short can it be? Secondly, the system of 0 wipes for the main loot of the raid. It will be expected that above average guilds have a no wipe clear every week, or there will be drama. Again, this will affect the population, I guarantee it. Having such a system requires a raid where 50 attempts left is not a crazy lofty goal. One player DC'd, a pull timer was off, an add-on was off. Little things like this can easily cause wipes. And then your entire week is gone for your raid just because of that. Thirdly, and most impactful in my opinion, you will not be getting much stronger this time to make it easier. In Ulduar, you went from entirely 213 gear, maybe a couple 226 and 200 eye level pieces, to 252 eye level gear to make the raid easier and easier as you went on, and your raid felt the power progression. In this phase, many raids are in a lot of 252-ish eye level items that can only go up 6 eye levels, other than the cloak. So instead of 39 eye levels of power, you'll be getting a whopping 6. The gear will not save you. You will not feel the power gains manifest. So I think the bugs, if they are bugs, get fixed. Those will be nerfs to what we saw in the PTR, and I do not think they will buff these fights as some people are calling for. What do you guys think? Did you experience a BTR? Did you watch any streams? Let me know in the comments. Give me some feedback, and like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.